Hello everyone, Mr. Gentleman here. Alright, we have a lot to do, so we are going to get going. How is my microphone? It might sound a little lower quality today than usual. It's kind of necessary right now. I ran into a major difficulty that I can't solve right now. So do I sound too terrible? Do I sound awful? Is it listenable? I'll try to deal with it once this stream is over. Definitely need to test my stuff before I go on air from now on. Anyone? Okay, just making sure. Sorry, there's a delay on chat. There's a delay on chat for me. So like your guys' things come in quite a while after I start speaking. It's a little strange. Yet another thing to get used to. But yeah, I'm learning how to do it to the best of my ability. Okay, so we are still here in the Dwarven Castle. I'm basically in their tower, raiding their stuff. I'm sure they don't mind. No one ever punishes RPG protagonists for stealing their stuff. Besides, it's all for a good purpose. A good cause. These guys can't fight the final boss anyway. That's my job. This is their tribute to me, so that I can get the job done. Anyway, how are all of you? Hail Subledger, the True Alfarius, Mediker, and the rest of you out there. Welcome to the live stream. We are in part 4 of Final Fantasy IV, and we are actually quite into the game at this point. We are well past the halfway point. Right now, I'm, like I said, just grabbing the last Dwarven stuff. I actually updated my equipment in between streams, just so that I could, just to get things going a little quicker. I have Cecil and Kane here with fire equipment. Even though the enemies are weak to ice, we don't have ice stuff yet, and not a lot of them are what's it called? Resistant to fire. Only a few of them are. So that works out, and we will have ice equipment well enough. I don't know if chat delay is intentional. It may just be that it's it may just be, you know, a consequence of streaming, of this being on the internet, of various internet speeds. That's what I've always thought anyway. Alright, let's go down these stairs. And I did grind one level up just to account for the different speeds. We have the Power Ring, which is going to make Yang even more powerful than he was before. Alright. I think we are pretty set. Now we have something fun here. It's in a few Final Fantasy games, but it's very notable here. And I should be coming up to it right now. As you can see behind this pillar, there is a strange little entrance here. And if we head to the back, we come to this pub. Sure. I love the dancers in this game. The dancers are so good. They're so entertaining. Each one offers something a little different. The best one is the one who turns into a pig, but this is pretty good too. Alright, I think we've seen enough of your dance now. Oh, very nice move. Not sure if that's safe. Someone could really sue you if you screw that up. Cecil even moved out of the way. Anyway, how are all of you doing? Let me know as we head into this secret passageway. And this leads to one of the more fourth wall breaking areas. This is the developer room. Here we have Tanaka. I hope to level up before our next release. I think you did. I really love Final Fantasy V. I don't know about you getting your own desk though. T Endo? I'm sure you are. And Dabashi, I didn't steal anything. I was framed. Well, that will be proven if it's true or not soon enough. Let's talk to the frog here. Koizumi, no vacation again. Isn't that right, Mr. Sakaguchi? Oh, well, take that up with Sakaguchi, man. And here we have a chocobo, and it is director Hironobu Sakaguchi, who has taken the form of a chocobo. Because of course he put himself that way. Let's look at this and the magazine. It's supposed to be a bit of a lurid magazine. We'll leave that alone. Work always comes before play. I'm sure that's true at Square as it is everywhere else. Rose and Rydia, eh? You girls are cute. Let me be of service. And Takashi Tokita tries to join our party. He was basically the second in command when it came to Final Fantasy IV. He became a famous director in his own right. He directed Live Alive, he directed Chrono Trigger. Strangely enough though, after that he didn't direct too many things. Like he did The Bouncer, and that was like the only PS2 game he directed, and I always found that strange. Oh, here we have an encounter with, it says Higuchi, but this is one of the encounters you can get. You hit me! I love the reactions here, they're pretty fun. Oh, and he chooses to explode. Does 1 damage to Sea Salt. I know this is one of the 2 encounters you can get. I can't remember who the other one is with though. The menu programmer's having a good time. Thank you very much. Taka, Pixel Artist. I will become the Lord of the Pixel Artists. Well, I hope you get your class upgrade soon. Hoshino on the graphics. Yeah, they look pretty good. I will be the only female on the team once my graphics partner leaves. You want them to leave? I hope I don't gag on all that testosterone. Okay. And then we have Tanaka on graphics. Really? Was that your final project? Interesting. I'll have to look that up. And we have another encounter. And yes, Kazuhiko Aoki, who did quite a few other Square projects. He was the battle designer for this game, I believe. I believe he is the one who did the ATV system, who invented it while watching Formula 1 racing, seeing everyone speed in and out. Here we have Kenji Ito, who did the sound effects. Ueda, yes, we are enjoying your work. Kao, and finally, using Naming Way Sprite, we have Nobuo Uematsu. Oh, thank you. Okay. Subledger, I don't think you can lose to any of them. They all seem to run away before you can really do anything. Alright, we have gotten that out of the way. Now that we have done that, we can move on back to the main story. Let me try the Ogre Killer on Cecil. No, I have the Dwarf Axe on him. Okay, so, yes. Ah, my legendary memory. Okay, let's move on. Okay, pillar. I'll blame the pillar on that. That wasn't my fault at all. Alright, let's move over here. I can run while we're doing this. Let's use the inn very quickly, since I didn't use it earlier. Ah, slow walk over to the bed. Yeah, that's true, Medicare. He gave himself this kind of like rainbow sprite. Really interesting. David Rose, during my lifetime, how many times have I beaten Final Fantasy IV? I have to think, across all the various versions, 20 times maybe? It's been a lot. Though this is my first play in a very long time. And it shows right now because I can't remember where to go and where to exit. I think it's up here. But yeah, I've completed this game quite a bit in my childhood. Oh, I like how the female dwarves have red armor. I think that's cool. But Yeah, because, you know, as a kid, I beat the easy mode one on SNES. Go ahead, Lolly. Yes, this is progress. Uh, and then I had Final Fantasy Chronicles for the PS4, which had Final Fantasy IV and Chrono Trigger. And yeah, I played it on that version. I played it for Game Boy Advance. I believe I've beaten it twice for Game Boy Advance. Yeah, like, pretty much every time they've re-released this game, except for mobile, I've beaten it. Thank you for the medal, David Rose. It does help that this game actually is not very long. I believe 100% is like... Yeah, it's like, just 22 hours around there. Whereas Final Fantasy V and VI, doing everything is 30 hours. And so that really, like, you know, helps out a lot. We have Rubicon, the last of the four fiends. We will come back alive. Okay. Another one of these fast-moving sprites. Always strange. And here we hear the plan. Their tanks will draw the fire, while we infiltrate the dungeon. Alright, the Pot of Life basically heals our HP. We don't need that. And here we are. Let me just get a good bearing on where we are on the map. You can use either Cecil or Rosa's sight spell for that. Alright, we just head under this way. And here we go. First battle, and yeah, we're gonna try to show off Rydia's summons for the sake of footage, and because it's entertaining to watch her kill stuff. Like, I remember being mind blown by summons as a kid because they were just so overpowered compared to everything else. Like, they just, like, completely, like, decimated, like, and they completely decimated enemy encounters. And, like, again, like I mentioned last time, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, Rydia was my childhood crush. And, like, her, like, sheer force in these fights just, you know, made that even deeper. And, like, she was great in boss fights, too, because if you need a single-hitting attack, another battle, she has, like, really strong physical attack. She really strong black magic attacks as well. Subledger 100% is basically completing the 3 side dungeons, I would say, for the original. So it's like the Fey March, which is the big summon dungeon, the Sylph dungeon, and Bahamut's dungeon, and getting basically like the best sword in the game. Yeah, and that's pretty much 100%. Not too much side content here. Yeah, Medicare, I kind of agree. Like, I wouldn't say that maybe like a 25 hours, 30 hours is a nice length for, you know, for a RPG. And a lot of these older games used to strike that balance really well. Like, they'd be able to really tell a full, complete story within the allotted amount of time. Like, you could argue, some people can argue that Final Fantasy IV, a few areas could have been fleshed out more. And I'd agree in a few places. But like Final Fantasy V, you know, was a good length in my opinion. Like, you know, even Live Alive. Oh, that's like a 20 to 22 hour game. And it tells, you know, a really, really in-depth story. Takashi Tokita did a great job there. And, what else is... Seiken Densetsu 3, Trials of Mana. That's also a 20 to 24 hours. It depends on the grind for the best seeds. Yeah, True Alfarius, I agree. Persona 5 is too wordy. I think the problem with that so much space... people confuse that with, oh, we have all this space. Let's do all of this dialogue and not edit any of it. And yeah, I think that's a problem. Because it basically let developers go free to put in as much dialogue without thinking of, you know, just because... There's an old saying, just because you can does not mean you should. And that's how I feel about Persona 5. Unlike the cockatrices, these petrify you little by little. Here's Titan from Rydia. Yeah, I really love the summon animations as a kid as well. If just because they were just more elaborate than everything else. And we got some more Medusa arrows. You have quite a few of those. We may put them on Rosa, if we so choose, but she'll spend most of her time doing support. But yes, I do hope that, you know, RPGs learn to balance themselves a little more. Not that a 110-hour game can be bad. I do love the PlayStation 1 version of Dragon Quest V. Not for everyone, but I do personally believe that it is one of the best RPGs of all time. Despite its length, I believe it uses its length very well. Like, I feel that like almost every story is really worth it in that game. Speaking of completed games, I beat Langrisser. I'll probably do a post about that on Twitter when I get a chance. Yeah, really good strategy game. Oh, let's talk about the story here. Here we have the dwarves holding off the tower so we can infiltrate. Alright, before we enter, let's show off one more of Rydia's summons. Yeah, let's show off Ramuh. But yeah, Langrisser 1 was released here under the name of Warsong originally. Yeah, really fine game, though it does sort of expect you to know what's in the stages before you choose your team. Because it kind of has a rock, paper, scissors system, kind of like Fire Emblem, but it's between unit types rather than weapon types. And, you know, you're not really told what's in the stage, and you kind of do, because of the way the game is made. I do recommend it. I do recommend the game, but I would say definitely, like, play it with a bit of a guide, knowing what you're getting into before you do. Looking forward to playing Langrisser 2. And the games did receive some remakes recently, which are both on Switch and PS4. Let's use a tent. Okay, let's save. And we'll do a save for the Retron. Excuse me. And let's enter the Tower of Babel. Once again, it uses this very fancy style of aesthetic. This sort of like ancient futuristic one. Let's kill the Marion first. These dolls can all be frogged, I believe, but they go down so easily it's not really necessary to put it to use. Yeah, Subledger, Shining Force 2 was really great. I can't really remember much of what happened in Shining Force 1, and I just played that for like the first time last year. I do have footage from it for a future video, but just to remember what happened, I may have to I may make myself play the Game Boy Advance remake. 2 was a really good game though. Perhaps not my favorite, but you know, I really liked it. I really liked the unit types. Peter the Phoenix was an excellent unit. Yeah, that's really what makes Shining Force so good. You have such a diversity of units and races. It's what makes the entire Shining universe great, in my opinion. And you know, it's such a... I don't mind the Shining action RPGs, but I feel like they've removed a lot of what made, you know, the Shining games great. Like, if you're gonna make these Shining action RPGs, at least make them, you know, with all of those other races. Because that's what makes Shining Force cool. Like, in what other game do you have, like, phoenixes and, like, giant menacing turtles that you can play as? Or, like, werewolves. You know, it's like they took the uniqueness out of the series. Because the team that made Shining Force for Sega they Camelot, you know, um they left Sega for Nintendo. They made the what was it? The GBA games. The what were they called? It's not Rising Sun. I'm forgetting the name. That famous Game Boy Advance RPG series. Golden Sun. There we go. Yeah, and yeah, they made Golden Sun, and then after those 3 games, Camelot never made an RPG again. Even after Nintendo and Sega became buddy. Yeah, that you know that series. You know they didn't say, hey, you know, let's do a Camelot reunion, and let's have a Nintendo Sega joint effort to make another Shining Force strategy game. So yeah, it's been quite disappointing ever since then. I would love it if that series got back on track. Yeah, True Alfarius, a lot of people love Shining Force 3. I do know there are unofficial translations now, I believe. Could be wrong. Yeah, I believe like part 2 and 3 eventually did. We're gonna switch out Yang's Ice Claw for the... No, I put them up here and forgot. For the Thunder Claw for 1 second, and we shall see why in a moment. Alright. Yeah. Basically, almost all the enemies here are weak to ice. But, you know, not difficult to defeat. Let's use Mist Dragon because we haven't watched that one yet. Subledger, how many parts of Shining Force 3 have been translated? Just so that I know for future reference. Because I do know the game is in like 3 parts. Alright, let's finish these. Prayer is a lot more useful than I remember. I'm sure that by the time I get Kiraga, it's going to be useless, but yeah, for now it's actually been pretty good for a little bit of healing. And we opened this unassuming box to find monsters. Alright, here is the security eye. Here's the thing with this. It says intruder alert. If you actually sit here and do nothing, it actually will not do anything until you hit it. It will just say intruder alert over and over again. But if you hit it, it will summon an enemy. And there's a golem. We're going to use focus on that because Yang's lightning claws will take it out in 1 hit. Let's hold this guy in case Rydia's Blizzara does not defeat him because he is weak against ice. No, that did not finish him. But he... Oh, Hold should have worked on him. Interesting. Perhaps I'm thinking of the wrong spell. Okay, Subledger, that's good to know. Thank you. I am looking forward to playing the entire thing. Like, everyone who's played it says that it's excellent. I really do like that there are so many translation and retranslation projects today. It just makes so many games better. I don't know if Lufia 2 has one. Lufia 2 had a pretty decent translation. Not a bad one, but not a great one either. There are a few moments where it's like, that could have been clearer or made more powerful by localization. Really good game, by the way, Lufia 2. Here we have a ice spare for Kane, and that will certainly help. Let's heal up. I have a ton of high potions. Yeah. This place actually is not that hard. Once you've beaten the Golbez fight, it's it's pretty easy going for a while. I would say the next difficult parts are the side dungeons, if you decide to do them. Let's attack these guys. I should have given Yang his Ice Claws back. Let's Blizzara them, and I'll take a sip of water. Yep, and these guys should be easily done in a second. Oh, Rosa with some pretty decent damage there. Yeah, Subledger, the puzzles in Lufia 2 are very good. I would say that Lufia 2 overall is a better puzzle game than A Link to the Past. Here we go, another battle. Once more, Security Eye. I think this one summons something different. Yes, it summons a Chimera. From now on, I'm just gonna kill the Security Eyes in one hit with Yang. Now that we've seen we've pretty much seen all the enemies they have to offer, except for one eye that you can meet within a random encounter. But you know, I do wish that there were more RPGs that were really puzzle focused. That is an interesting attack by the Chimera, that it only hits the front row or the back row. There aren't many attacks in this game that do that. You, the player, don't have any attacks that do that. It's a very, like, Dragon Quest kind of thing, rather than a Final Fantasy thing. Cecil gets the Ice Brand, which will help out even more. Like, the early Dragon Quest games have some pretty, like, fun puzzles. Not difficult ones, but, like, fun ones. I like to see more things like Lufia 2, where there are, like, puzzles that really make you think. Like, I like, oh, whoop, I think I hit Rydia by accident. Uh-oh, that's gonna be trouble. Oh, you know, let's switch Yang's back. Okay, that should be good. Oof, taking some attacks here. Yeah, Mediker, if you're not ready for Lufia's 2's puzzles, there are quite a few that can be troublesome. Like, there were a bunch that made me say, man, that, like, I was there scratching my head saying, man, what do I have to do here? But a lot of people, you know, get a kick out of that. I do like it. Have to be in the mood for it, but I do love it. And we get a bomb fragment, a fire item, not really useful to us at this point in the game. Third floor, and we get the Cat Claw, which I will use to replace Yang's second item. Yeah, it's basically the same strength, but I believe it has a different elemental property, or it allows for a different status element. The puzzle that really got me is the last secret one in Lufia 2. The world's hardest puzzle, I believe it's called. The game calls it. And yeah, even with a guide, that puzzle takes like an hour to complete. It's completely absurd. But I do want more puzzle RPGs. I like it. What I like about JRPGs are when they combine ideas. Like when the Mario RPGs decided to combine platforming and, you know, turn-based RPGs. That was such a great and unique idea. Like, no one had done that yet. And, you know, it's been really good for them. And I hope we get more Mario and Luigi RPGs. We still haven't heard anything about Alpha Dream. After we heard that they were declaring bankruptcy. That was like, you know, we heard that, and that's been the end of the story so far. Yes, Subledger, that's it. The world's hardest puzzle. We get to slide those blocks. Yeah, I've done a puzzle like that before. I can't remember what game. It may have been like a Professor Layton game. But like the one in Lufia 2 was like 1,000 times harder than any one of that kind of puzzle I've ever dealt with. It's certainly like worth, like, if you've never played Lufia 2, I do suggest like finding that puzzle towards the end just to see how legendary it is. No one will blame you for looking up a guide to see how to get the job done on that one. Oof. think we've seen most of the enemies in here at this point. Haven't played Beyond the Beyond Subledger. I'll have to look that up. I know I've heard of it. Don't know much about it, though. Here we go, Preemptive Strike. This morning, I started Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. That one was next on my list to get footage of. You know that game? You know, I know a lot of people rail on it for being too easy. I would say it's more simple than it is too easy. At least, you know, as far as I've gotten. I did start it as a kid, but I never finished it. And it is a very simple game, but it is ambitious in its own little ways. Like, it takes a lot of ideas from Final Fantasy Legend 3, known as Saga 3 in Japan. Which is, you know, which does make sense. Because it was directed by the guy who made Saga 3. The guy who made Saga 1 and Saga 2 and Final Fantasy 2, Kawazu, he did not work on Saga 3. He was doing Romancing Saga at the time. So, you know, a new studio had been formed. And, whoops, let's get that chest first. And yeah, Saga 3 was their first job. And there are things from that game that are cool. Like how you can, like, jump over obstacles or jump over NPCs, which are really unique to those games. And, you know, he brought those back. He also in those games, also he took things from, at least I theorize, he took them from Final Fantasy Adventure, as we know it, known as Mystic Quest if you're in Europe, or a Seiken Densetsu in Japan. Yeah, like there are some ideas from that game. Such as how you can use tools to get across the map, you can like blow things up with the bombs. Here we have an egg, which ambushed us. I don't know how an egg ambushes you. But once you hit it, an enemy can come... Oh, and I seem to have killed it in one hit, so we don't get to see the enemy that comes out of it. Yeah, that's true, Subledger. That's what I was, you know, alluding to. It's very simple, but, like, there are certain moments where you can die quite easily early on. Not sure if that's, like, it being, you know, too suddenly hard, or maybe even unfair in a way. But, yeah, it's more simple than it is easy. Like, a lot of the mechanics are very obvious. But you know, but there are some, it does have some benefits. Yeah, Mediker, I was just about to mention that. The music in Mystic Quest is fantastic. Perhaps not very, emotionally stirring or anything like that. Like how some, you know, let me save for the Retron since that was a safe spot. Not many that are like really stirring or anything like that. But like just for sounding cool and really powerful, yeah, Mystic Quest has a really great soundtrack to listen to. Here we have Moose, which are another of the gel-type enemies. They all can be toaded, and we will do just that because it's fun to do so. Any moment, Rydia, it's your floor. Like, I do think that Mystic Quest is a little condescending. Oh, wait, it's not Toad? Maybe it's Pig then? No, it's Minnie that they're weak to. Okay. My mistake. All these status effects. Let's try that one more time. Okay, she isn't the one with Minnie. And I rearranged my magic before this, too. I know someone mentioned Bahamut Lagoon earlier as well, but I didn't get a chance to, comment on it. I hear the soundtrack for that game is nice. and I have not yet played it. That's on the list. I've gotten a lot of recommendations for it. I do like how a lot of the lesser-known Super Nintendo RPGs have come to the forefront. Like, I find a lot of them have become some of my favorites. Like, Live Alive is a great example. I will always recommend Live Alive. Hashtag play Live Alive. The Fire Emblems are great. I am a huge fan of Fire Emblem 4. Fire Emblem 3 is good too. And I have yet to complete 5. Hey Charlie Fox, how are you? Basically, I went to the developer room where you can find Hironobu Sakaguchi. And after that we walked to the Tower of Babel, and that's where we are now. Lagoon, okay. I'm pretty sure I've heard of it. I've watched a lot of videos on Super Nintendo RPGs, so I'll have to look it up. Alright, this Chimera is getting on my nerves now. Oh, there my... No, Rosa survived that. Oh, Yang did not, however. Let's, pick Yang back up. Oh, well, this thing is just blazing me to death. But yeah, there are a lot of things for the Super Nintendo, that I really look forward to getting to know more and more. Like, even something as small as, what is it? What was that anime? There were some pretty good anime RPGs. Oh man, it was in the recent Super Robot Wars, which I've been playing as well. The one with the girls who end up in the other world, and they become like magic knights and stuff. Why am I forgetting this? It's a pretty cool series. But yeah, that has a pretty cool RPG for the Super Nintendo. Even though it's like a mech series, you can't use the mechs in the RPG, which is unfortunate. But it looks like a good RPG otherwise. And I've heard good things about the Sailor Moon RPG. Yeah, Slayers has a few RPGs. Hello, Tom Poos 84. Wow, really, Charlie Fox? 12 hours? You got to the final dungeon? Yeah, game is, Final Fantasy IV is short. Yes, King Boom, Rayearth it is. Okay, this security eye brings about a Naga. But yeah, Magic Knight Rayearth, that's something I've been getting into recently. I haven't watched the anime yet, but I've been playing Super Robot Wars T. And yeah, that is featured in that game. Really nice mechs, really interesting story. I hear the second half of the manga is different from the anime, but I'll definitely look into both more in depth as time goes on. Here we have a ice shield, but I don't think we're going to equip it. Oh no, you know what? We are. I did not get Cecil the Flame Armor. Okay, well we'll just get that. No, you know what? We'll keep the Flame Shield. The reason being that the shields basically add type resistance, and since everyone here is using fire, Cecil stays more resistant to fire as long as he has the Flame Shield. So we'll keep that on for now. Here we have another Chimera. Let's throw our biggest hits at him. Not sure what he's weak to. That one I should have looked up a little more. Oh, well, he's down, so... yeah, we are pretty strong. What level is Rosa? Okay. Because I'd really like Rosa to get to level 35 sooner than later. Because at that point, she learns Float. And Float will be important. To the point that, like, if I have to, I will, like, make this a shorter stream today, just so I can grind for it, because it really is necessary for one of the optional dungeons. Let's switch to Yang, switch to his Thunderclaw, and focus, and he'll take care of the problem. True Alfarius, you enjoyed 4? Oh, Rosa learned Kiraga and Minnie. There's Minnie. True Alfarius, if you've played 4, I would play 5 next. Because 4 and 5 and 6 all take place in the same universe. Because like 5 takes place hundreds of years later. There are a lot of nice references. It does feel like, you know, a continuation of that world, even if it isn't a direct sequel. And 5 is just one of the best RPGs I've ever played. Yeah, I know we're talking about Final Fantasy VII in the chat. Yeah, they've always been a pretty easy game. Oh, you beat 1 through 7, Alfarius. Okay then. Next I would, what are... yeah, 8 is great, but it is different. Like, a lot of people love it, but I feel as if Dragon Quest VIII feels more like a Final Fantasy game than it does a Dragon Quest game. The reason I say that is because of the way the game is structured. Most Dragon Quest games are very episodic in nature. Like, each town has its own story, has its own lore, you know, has its own NPCs who react to the story around them. Whereas Dragon Quest VIII is very much like a Final Fantasy in that it's much more about the main plot. Like, you know, a lot of it is, it's actually like Final Fantasy VII. It's one big chase. It's one big, like, hunt. One big chase. You're hunting down this bad guy. And everything is really connected to that. There are a few cities here and there that do have their own stories. But a lot of things really do revolve. really do revolve around, you know, one idea. 9 returns to what the series is known for, though that game was enjoyed better in its heyday when the multiplayer was around, because that's why people loved that game. The multiplayer in 9 brought people together. It's a lot of people's favorite just for that. But I do think it's an overall enjoyable game as well. And I would say, like, you know, I've never given my opinions on Dragon Quest XI. Maybe I'll do a short video on that one day. But I keep forgetting it absorbs ice. But Dragon Quest XI, it combines both classic Dragon Quest and 8, in that it's kind of a cross between focusing on a main plot while also being somewhat episodic at the same time. I think that was to like satisfy both generations. That's my opinion on 11 anyway. I am kind of hoping that 12 goes full classic Dragon Quest, because, you know, it's been 10 years since we have had a game that's like that. Hello Ultra Zappy, greetings. We are currently doing the Tower of Babel. Tom Poos, there is talk within the Dragon Quest development within Square Enix to re-release 9. Like it's definitely like been talked about. And I know that there's been talk of there has been talk of a offline or maybe online optional Final Fantasy X for the West. That is what I really want. I really want that. Because, you know, I don't have a Japanese Wii U. I imagine most people don't. And here we go, we minied these guys. Yeah, most people don't. And, you know, I've always sort of toyed with the idea of getting one. But if we can just get an offline version of FF10, kind of like how we got at how GameCube got a offline optional Phantasy Star Online, I'd really love it. You know, I think it would be great. It's the one it's the one Dragon Quest we're missing in the West right now, at least in the mainline series. Yeah. Yeah, Ultra Zappy, a little bit of grinding is necessary in Dragon Quest games. Like, I do think you need to be level 5 or 6 for the dungeon you're up to, but I love Dragon Quest V. Especially for the DS, or mobile if you're playing it that way. But yeah, it's such a good game. Up here, we go there later, can't do anything right now. Just reading the chat. What are we fighting? Chimera and Mooses again. But yes, love Dragon Quest V. I highly recommend it to everyone. Not as good in the gameplay department as certain other games in the series, but still enjoyable. Fun fact about Dragon Quest V, Dragon Quest V has been remade twice, but it is still the second, you know what, it's now the highest requested remake in Japan, even though it's had 2 remakes. You're probably wondering, why is that? The reason is because some people first played it on the Super Nintendo, and they wanted, you know, a remake. And for some people who played, you know, the PlayStation 2 version for the first time, that was their first RPG. But then Dragon Quest VIII comes out and blows everyone away with how visually advanced it is. And so people are like, no, that's what Dragon Quest V should look like. Because if you look at Dragon Quest V for PS2, it has very dated visuals. Even like a year after it came out, it was very dated. And people want all of the good stuff in the DS version and basically place into a game that, like, is super high budget. And because of that, despite having 2 remakes, people still want a Final Fantasy V remade. Now, up until now, across the world, Final Fantasy VII was the most requested remake, no matter where you went. But now it has a remake, so that makes Dragon Quest V the most requested. Yeah, Deborah is cool. Though I am generally Team Bianca. I don't think I was paying attention to this fight. What did I have Rosa do? Okay. Meant to have her mini. Okay, her turn will come up again. For now, I guess we can heal. These guys don't do too much damage. Otherwise, we will be here for quite a while. High potion. Oh man. Okay, I take back saying these guys didn't do too much damage. Alright, time to make you guys vertically challenged while I revive Cecil. Drakenzam, I just saw your question. I'm not sure I fully understand it. A translation that isn't RPGs? Alright, well, what I can at least say is that I I've played Final Fantasy V with the old translation. The one that, like, goes back to the 90s. That was probably the first fan translation I ever played. And I've played it on Game Boy Advance. And I do know that, that somebody took the Game Boy Advance localization and made a hack for the SNES version so that you can install the translation, which is pretty cool. So I will say I have played I've played those translations. I've never played the PS1 translation, but I've seen it and it's terrible. Like they spell, like, I'm stopping the game just to explain this. This is how bad the Final Fantasy V localization is. So you guys know wyverns, right? The dragons with hands on their wings. The Final Fantasy V translation for the PlayStation 1 spells it wyvern, as in Y-vern. I'm not kidding about that. it's hilariously bad. Charlie Fox, why wasn't there a stream on Sunday? Because I was very busy that night. Throughout that entire day, really. I did want to stream, but I didn't want to come into this episode unprepared. Like, I do want to do some things going forward a certain way, and I want to make sure that these streams go as smoothly as possible. I don't like to waste people's time, because I don't like my time wasted. So, like, do unto others as you would have them do to you. And I want to make sure that these streams go well. As a result, I did not stream on Sunday. Also, there was something I wanted to watch that night. I'm a wrestling fan, and despite the fact that WWE has been terrible for years, not because of the roster has been great, but because the writing has been terrible. Despite that, I still watch because I have the network. I have the WWE network. I like watching old pay-per-views. And so I was like, why not? Let me watch it. And so I did that Sunday night as well. But I will try to keep after Final Fantasy IV... Oh man, which way is progress? This door or the other door? From now on, I'm going to... For Final Fantasy IV, I'm going to keep trying to do 3 days a week. Once I finish, I will do 2 or 3 days, depending. Because, I obviously do need time to play other games to prepare for the future. And I will also need to edit, obviously. Okay, so this is progress, so let me check that upper door. Yeah, there's been no sound issues. That gives me some theories as to what the problem is. Is my quality lower? Because, I'm not... Oh, I'm glad I came back. I would have missed this area too. Use a Tentin. What was I saying? I completely forgot. That happens. Complete brain fart. Oh yes, sound quality. I'm not using a certain something, so I'm wondering if my quality is down, but, I haven't heard anything, so perhaps not. Ultra Zappy. A Dream Dragon Quest armor. I really, really, really like the Zenithian armor. A little impractical in some ways, I think, but it does look really cool. So I guess I would wear that. Reading the chat. But, yeah, just to make editing time, I may do only 2 streams a week at some point. It depends. But what I have pretty much established, and I'm glad people have picked up on it, is that I am trying to go for a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Those are the best nights for me to stream. So it will always. So even when I do 2 streams a week, it will always be 2 with 2 of those days. Okay, we already saw the Naga, so we're gonna go to Yang as soon as he becomes available. Yes, we know, intruder alert, we got it. Okay. Hit attack by accident, but that's fine. Already have the Thunderclaw equipped. And we will get an enemy. Oh. Ah, yes. Just my fortune. Oh yeah, have you aim. Yep, I do think the Zenithian equipment looks better than the Erdrick armor. I think the green and silver is really cool. You don't see too many armors like that. Alright, that out of the way, we are up to the next floor is the boss. Let's head down. To the right. Few more stone golems. Well, I've been talking non-stop. My throat's starting to feel a little... I don't remember the Chimera Brains. I remember the trapdoors, though. That is an annoying dungeon in this game, if you don't know what you're doing. Like, the trapdoors, yeah, it's really annoying, because you don't know which doors have treasure and which ones don't. Alright, here we go. This boss is not too hard. If I remember correctly... let's heal. Yeah, let's... High potion. Ooh, that's what Yang's good for, his ton of HP. And let's do it. Does Rubicon not see us? We're just kind of standing here. Rubicon is going to slay some ninjas. It is a little weird to have a mad scientist in this game. Really, really interesting. I'm in charge now. I agree, Rydia. And we are noticed. Not that we couldn't be noticed, you know, with these completely open floors with no walls. Won't you call for help, Doctor? Yeah. You know, there is a lot of implication that Cain interacted with a lot of these villains while he was brainwashed. That, you know, that we didn't get to see. I imagine that some of it was part of the cut script. Yeah, that's true, Charlie Fox. Not as weird as, you know, talking dolls. And here we have Dr. Luge and Barnum. I know that you can kill them both at the same time, but no, we'll just kill Barnabas for now. Yes, Barnabas actually... that was a good joke, I remember that. Barnabas actually accidentally, you know, turns around and punches Luge. I really like it when someone, like, tries to integrate story into the battle scenes. It adds that extra flavor. Barnabas is a machine type, so he is weak against electricity. And he's gone. Riddy is up. That's right, there was a Mad Doctor in the first Fantasy Star named Dr. Mad. And Dr. Luge becomes Barnabas Z. I'm pretty sure that's a reference to Mazinger Z. Because in Mazinger Z, the pilot, Koji, this is an old anime and manga. But what he did was that he piloted like a jet called a Pilder. And it flew into the head of Mazinger Z. Alright, that's done with. One more boss fight. How dare you face my true power? And we get Luge's robot form. Or we will. Kane, take to the air, please. Do 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 do. Oh yeah, about this song. So, how do I even explain this? There's a company... Oh, we've been poisoned. Everyone's been poisoned. Let's summon Ramu just for the fun of it. Mylon Z. That I'm not sure about that one, since that was an American translation thing. That was an American translation thing. Huh. Can't focus. Guess because I'm poisoned? Oh well, he's dead. Yeah, that was a pretty easy boss. But Charlie Fox, the transformation occurs depending on how you do the boss fight. I believe it won't happen if you kill them both at once. Okay, and apparently this tower has a super weapon. So, we gotta save the dwarves. Okay, yes, let's heal everyone of the unfortunate poisoning. Where even are my antidotes? Ooh, my inventory's full. There you go. No, not dry ethers. Okay, and we are good to go after this. Boy, I hope no tragic deaths happen in the near future. Or fake tragic deaths. Family feud with Cecil Harvey. Yeah, this game is filled with all kinds of familial issues. Some parents die. Some never met their parents. Yes, true Alfarius. Death in quotation marks. Unless you're over 65, then you know how it is. You know how it is in Japan. If you're too old, your time is up. Yeah, only Tella has the decency to stay dead. But, and there's one character in particular who has the decency to come back twice. I'm trying to switch to Yang. All I'm hearing is Intruder Alert. There we go. I think that Intruder Alert interferes with the turn timer. There we go, finally. Just reading the chat. Okay, and did I take the right turn? I'm tempted to run, but again, I do really want Rosa to hit a certain level fairly soon. It makes a certain area much easier. Subledger, I think the dwarves don't know how much progress we made. And I think that's the I think that's the problem. That's okay. Another battle. Ugh, 2 chimeras. That's not fun. And back attack. Change rows. Have any of you played the Sakura Wars RPG that came out? The one that was very kind of Musou in nature? Haven't played it, considering picking it up. I've been picking up quite a few things lately. With the whole event that occurred in the real world recently. A lot of things have been on sale. Probably because everyone is at home. But yeah, I've been picking up quite a few things. I managed to pick up a Front Mission DS off of eBay the other day. It plays mostly like the Super Nintendo, except that it has an official localization, which the SNES one did not have. And it has an entirely second campaign from the other side of the war. Picked up a copy of Aquaman. I actually do like that movie. And I don't like too many modern superhero movies. Which one handles death the best? That's an interesting question. Ultra Zappy. Between those two, I do like DQs. I think the coffins kind of add something. If I had to choose between more games, I could give the cheeky answer, which is Fire Emblem, which is that when you're dead, you're dead. You gotta say, that's a pretty good way of handling death. Oh, here's this door. I'm going to, very conveniently, remove all of Yang's equipment. Assuming I have space in my inventory too, which I might not have. Okay, let me empty my inventory a bit. And we can use this potion. These magazines don't do anything. What else? Yeah, the bomb fragments are pretty outdated and don't give too much money. Okay, hopefully this is enough. Yang, take your stuff off. The money will go to, it will go to a good cause. You can't save the world without money after all. Okay, and the power ring. Which I think I'll give to Cecil. Okay. Charlie Fox, I've been mostly doing the Tower of Babel. That's been pretty much it. Now let's enter in here. Let's use the Luge key. Oh well, that's gone from my inventory, thankfully. Yeah, Chrono Trigger had a good death. Though I like Final Fantasy V's. That might be one of maybe my favorite death in an RPG. Because the guy who dies in that game goes out like an absolute hero. And like the way they translate it, that he's like gone into negative HP. And that's why like Phoenix Downs and Cures don't work on him. That was a cool idea. Alright. Here we have the cannon firers. Let's face them. Just a bunch of goblins. Nothing special. You know, Ultra Zappy, I've always believed that the problem with getting anime and video games over to the West was that It all had to do with advertisement and PR, in my opinion. Like, I think that, you know, people would only see one side to anime, and that's why they considered it weeb garbage, in quotes. Right, Rosa's level up. I'll have to check what level she is after this. And these guys mess up the controls while we just watch. And the cannon is messed up. And Yang will sacrifice himself. My favorite death is when the Prince of Canuck dies. Ultra Zappy, I will reply to that with, which death? Because when I play because I think when anyone plays the NES version of Dragon Quest II, there are many deaths that occur in that game for the Prince of Canuck and for the Princess of Moonbrook. And Yang has sacrificed himself. Kind of. Sort of. We'll totally be never seeing him again, of course. He's dead, Jim. That's it. And we get the sad theme. I don't think we can exit. Yeah, we can't. Wow, we have to go back manually, right? Just to speed things up, I will use the run. And I may even run from a few battles, especially the ones that ambush me. Yes, press F in the chat for Yang. You know what? Don't even give him the F. Give him like a G. Because we all know the truth. We all know what really happens. Yang is not deserving of the F. Yeah, Yang is the only one who has the audacity to die, quote-unquote, twice in this game. Yep, seeing some G's for Yang. Anytime, Rosa. Anytime. I guess I can have Cecil heal, since Kane is dying over there. Ooh, Rosa, why are you so slow? Yang gets an F for Frying Pan. Yep. I've always said, treat him like how they used to treat eggs in those old drug commercials. If you're old enough, you might get that reference. Ooh, these guys are relentless. They must have a high speed value to be attacking like this fast. Alright, there we go. Thank you, Rosa. Yeah, man, Minnie's pretty good in some areas. In one of the the side dungeons, Frog is like really excellent. Like, I think half the stuff there is susceptible to it. Yes, Subledger, you got it. Yes, Gridiron, it is SNES Final Fantasy IV, but it is using a patch in order to restore all the stats to the original Super Famicom version. It also cleans up the translation quite a bit. I don't remember Rosa having a pretty decent physical attack. It's pretty nice. It's for some a little extra damage. Gridiron, this is Babel. First visit to Babel, by the way. As you can see, Edge is not on our team yet. Though that will be coming up soon. Alright. Okay. And head back over the bridge. Like, I know walking out of this dungeon manually does serve a purpose. Still a little annoying. Wish they could have let exit go to, like, just the bottom floor. Let's have Cecil attack. Should have jumped that Chimera. Rosa, thank you. And Minnie. Thank you, Cecil, for covering Rydia. Ooh, now Cecil's feeling it. I also have it on 1 speed active for those who are just joining us. That means the speed is set to 1, which is the highest possible enemy speed in the game. Did I do something wrong? Did Mini not work? If so, that's a bit of a pain. It's a Kiraga, everybody. Like, I'm so used to using Mini on these guys, I don't remember what their exact weakness is. Ultra Zappy in real life, what is my level? I have... interesting question. I have, yeah, have to think about that one. Maybe I'll do a stat sheet for myself, and I'll have that ready for the next stream. I guess, I could... Oh, wow! Mist Dragon worked right on those guys. Interesting. I have level... I'm level 50 in turn-based RPGs. I guess that's my real-life level. Oh yeah, Charlie Fox, that is a that's a well-known grinding technique. I've heard quite a few people mention that. Really nice help if you're having trouble with Leviathan. I prefer to look at real-life stats more in terms of like Western RPGs, where you have like stats and skills in like all like in a bunch of like little areas and not just one area. Or I guess, you know, Saga's kind of like that too. Some of the Saga games. Like you have like this many stats in like cooking. Or you have like this many stats in, I don't know, being a lumberjack. Oh, did not mean to do that. Yeah, Subledger, I noticed that. I was that's always been a weird thing to me. Like, Edge, like, ninjas through the wall, but somehow he gets everyone else to ninja through the wall with him. Like, I am wondering how exactly that works. Okay, just want to check my levels. Ooh, Rosa's 31. Hopefully we'll have some time to, no, that's not what I thought it was. Let's run from this fight. Yeah. Can't remember what I was going to say again. Close to the bottom, though. We're almost out of here. Okay, that's, got that chest. Pretty sure I got everything here, which is nice. Easy fight, so I'll just run through this for the experience. Using a turbo controller for leveling. I wish it were that easy to grind in something like Dragon Quest II, but there's always the threat that you'll like die while grinding in that game. There are definitely some games where it's like, okay, I don't like how grinding feels here. Ah, I think I'm at the entrance finally. When I was a kid, I didn't have like the like Super Nintendo Turbo controller, or like the joystick, or like the Super Scope 6, I believe it was called. But I had a cousin who was older than me and had a job, so he had all those things. And now that like I'm an adult, I'm like, you know, I'm really like thinking about going on eBay and finding those things. And here we go, next story section. Thank you, Gomez. And there goes the bridge. And Sid saves us. Hello, Sid. I forgot to de-equip you last time. Do you mind taking your stuff off? Subledger, I've never played 7th Saga, but I've heard about it. Geekdom 101? Yes, I put that email in there just for you, actually. So you can go ahead and do that. And, alright. To destroy the super cannon, Yang gave his life. Kind of. But Rydia's kind of sad. When Rydia is sad, I am sad. You know, Sid, you're like a top-of-the-line engineer. Like, shouldn't we be able to shake these guys easily? Did you not put any, like, weapons on this thing? Like, you know, the airship in Final Fantasy III had a cannon. Or, you know, we could do some ship-to-ship combat. I mean, we're pretty strong. I'm pretty sure if Rydia hit that other ship with Ifrit, it would, like, go down pretty easily. I really don't think you need to take excessive action here. I'm gonna close the hole up with this bomb. Okay. This is a bit excessive, Sid. I think there are ways to avoid this. Well... There he goes. I'll show you the fireworks of Sid, Chief Engineer. And there is yet another Final Fantasy IV, death. I'm sure Sid is, in a million pieces right now. You know, I mean, that looked like a pretty big explosion, to be quite honest. Yeah, I agree, Kane. He was pretty stubborn. Yep, True Alfarius, there's no way Sid could survive that. Yeah, Drakazan, you know, he's just an electrode, you know, or he's a bomb. He's a bomb. That's what he is. He's a bomb. Blew himself up, but somehow can live through it. Totally not lethal at all. That's always funny in, like, the Paper Mario games, where if you know, you can blow the bombs up on your team as much as you want. But they just reform just like that. Not sure if explosions work that way, but you know. My joke about it is that, you know, Sid had 1 HP left. That's what happened. He blew himself up, but he just happened to have 1 HP remaining. And we all know as long as you have 1 HP, nothing is fatal. Sid's engineers are attaching a hook. And this game has a similar problem to Final Fantasy III, in that there are like a bunch of airships all do something different. We go through them one by one like nothing. This one can pick up the hovercraft. Like, I know why they did this. It was to make sure, even if you killed him, he'd come back to life and keep on working. Well, engineer, your words are truer than you think. Yeah, that's true, Subledger. He blew himself up, and then he, like, made it through all those fights afterwards. Okay, gotta find where I left the hovercraft. But yeah, I think on one hand, they didn't want the hovercraft to see, like, only one use. Okay. Just gotta get on top of it somehow. Alright, there we go. Perfect. And I think they wanted to, like, not let you reach a certain area once you got the airship at first. And that's why they did this. But it still feels really convenient that, you know, you have like multiple airships and each do this and that. All right, let's go to the Castle Eblon first. Wait, have I recovered HP? No, I haven't. Let's do that. Yeah, FF7, the big supernova attack, that wouldn't kill anyone. And you know what? I want to go get some more high potions before I go on. And if you've ever played like a Super Robot Wars game, all of like the big bosses like do these attacks that destroy the entire universe, but they like just affect your one unit. Like, I really do suggest looking up the final battles of those games, just to see like the crazy, insane level animations. But it does like, you know, just 2,000 damage to your like your robots. Let's go to the shop. There we go. We've got things to sell. We don't need these claws anymore. Sell this. Really like the customizable selling you can do. Sell these. Sell the dwarf axe. Can't remember if anyone else can equip the stuff that he used to have, but just to make sure. No, that was pretty much Yang's best stuff. Oh well, she can get the beret. It's the sage hat. Almost there, guys. Sell that. Don't think we need stop, but I'll hold on to that for now. Okay, we're good, and let's buy those high potions. Let's buy a lot of them. 10, 20, 30, 40. We've got the money for it. Did you say something that I missed, True Alfarius? Yeah, a lot of these early games had spells where like you sacrificed yourself and like to resurrect others. Unique spell. I do like those, even though I don't quite use them. Never found a reason to. I don't like sacrificing a party member. Oh, you were just explaining Kerplunk, I see. Okay, we've got some enemies here. Just pretty much the same as the Underworld. Yes, the game, the developers did not want the difficulty going up yet. That's fine. And after this, we will be doing the Broken Down Eblon Castle. It's an optional area, nothing too difficult there. But it does have quite a few good items. Though, what is it, Kaklang? That is a cool Dragon Quest spell. It's the kind of thing you see more in MMOs these days. Being able to steal or stone yourself completely. That's a really cool idea. Alright. And, Rosa, still level 31, hoping for some higher level soon. Let's head over to this tower first. You know what? I forgot to save outside, but I don't want to walk back because I'm lazy. So I'll just do that right there. Now let's look around. A lot of hidden walls here and there. Here we go. Here's one. Whisker. What does Whisker do again? Instant damage, death dealing. Doesn't always work, so we may not be using that. Okay, just wondering how to get to the other side now. Not that way. No, not this way. Trying to remember all the little secrets. Oh, there we go. You do it from this floor. Let's open this up. High potion, emergency exit. That's our Hermes, which lets you go faster. Now I do think there is... Yes, here it is. Yeah, this is something kind of lost in games, a little hard to do in modern RPGs. And here we go, we have some enemies, a Coral and a Lamia. Don't remember them being too special. Since we haven't used it yet, let's try Ifrit out. Ooh, Cecil's paralyzed. I will keep that chest in mind, Subledger. Hopefully it won't go too bad. And this Lamia should be dead here, and we are good. And we get a Blood Spare, which will be good for Kain. That's a pretty big damage upgrade, thankfully. Let's fall down here, and we reach this chest. And here we have the basement. And here we have the monster box. Oh, you were right, mad ogres. Alright, hopefully we will not die. Let's have Kain jump. Let's summon... Yeah, let's use Shiva. And I believe these guys can be held. So let's hold the guy in the back. Alright, Rydia coming in with a Diamond Dust. Yeah, DQ6, Murdaugh is a pretty tough boss. Huh. Thought these guys could be held, or maybe I missed. That's fine. These guys aren't... I'm streaming, Ian. Let's, Sorry, was just letting somebody know something. Yeah, 6 has some tough parts. Dragon Quest 6, they're talking about in the chat. Yeah, there are some parts of that game that are tough. I would say that in terms of the numbered Dragon Quests, 6 is probably the hardest. Though 11 with stronger monsters on might beat it out, if we can count that. So having this use Fyra. Actually should have used Bio. That might have been better. But we got it. And we got a Silver Apple. All Silver Apples pretty much go to Rydia. They raise your base HP, and Rydia needs it. That's it's pretty much a given, all things considered. Let's have Cecil heal everyone. Wow, Kain almost took no damage. Probably because he spent all the time in the sky. Yeah, it didn't go too bad, but I think it's because I was prepared for it. Up the stairs. Oh, and that exits you from the place. Alright, let's discover the other half of Avalon Castle. This was a place of ninjas who apparently liked European architecture, rather than having, you know, a big Japanese castle. Okay. Kind of the reverse of the other side. No, not there. I think it's actually here? No, I remember this is the tricky one. Yeah, there we go. Those developers, another tricky ideas. Yeah, good fortune with DQ6, Charlie Fox. I would say that you would, the final dungeon would need some grinding for. Let's summon Ifrit, he would be good against the skeletons. And I think against the steel golem as well. We'll have Rydia aim. Don't usually have her do that, but it will hopefully be useful. You're right, Kain has the blood spare, which lets him drain HP from enemies. And the great thing about it is that because Jump does so much damage, he basically deals a chunk of damage and absorbs that damage. So he won't be needing that much healing going forward. And Ifrit wipes those guys out. Kain leveled up. Subledger, I haven't been to a Dairy Queen in forever. Let's see. Can I reach that chest from this floor? For the final dungeon, I'm gonna need like some maps, because that place is pretty confusing. Yeah, Daniel, those are always like a nice surprise. It's like, hey, let me do the same thing I always do to these enemies. And like their like properties make it so that, nope, that was a big mistake. Let's do this. And yeah, into the wall here. Silence arrows. And 10,000 gil. And I think we can go over here. And this causes us to fall down. And we get a bomb core, which is basically a fire. Yeah, it basically like casts a huge fire type spell. Charlie Fox, don't know where you're from, but you're from Germany, right? Or am I thinking of somebody else? But basically, a Dairy Queen is like, it's an American restaurant, not really fast food, but not fine dining either. I guess it's comparable to like Applebee's or Chili's or all the other type of restaurants we have here. And yes, they are known for their ice cream. Okay, second floor. This place is a lot of stuff, but it's all helpful. Yes, it's on. Yeah, I see that staircase, so it's probably up here in the throne room. There we go. You unicorn. Alarm clock wakes you up from sleep. How they have alarm clocks in this world is a little perplexing. Alright, True Alfarius, you're the one from Germany, that's right. Thank you all for being here, by the way. If you don't mind, hit the like button. It's always good for these videos. That's okay, Charlie Fox. We won't make fun of you here. No matter where you're from. Okay, unicorn and alarm clock. And I think that's it. I don't think anything else is left in this castle. If so, I will come back later by myself. But for what, we can now move on with the story. Just want to check Rosa's experience. Okay, she's about to hit next level. Because, like, for those who've played this game, you know there's a dungeon that can be really annoying without float. Okay, Charlie Fox, that's fine. No problem with being from Russia. I mean, it's not like you're French or anything. That's a joke. Don't take that seriously. Let's use a tent. Wow, a lot of you guys not from where I'm from. Oh, that's pretty cool. Thank you from whatever time zone you're from. I know for some of you this may be quite late. I'm going to try to get the stream to 5 o'clock because I know that's better for European viewers. But recent events have made it so that I've kind of had to do them at 5:30 or 6. But I am going to try. Alright, pretty much the same enemies as the overworld. We have these Skulders. I imagine a combination of skull and soldier. Oh, we have a Namekian in the chat. That's great. Yes. Well, I hate to say this, Ultra Zappy. Ultra Zappy. I'm prejudiced against actual alien life, humanity forever. But welcome to the chat. We do welcome you here. As long as you're here. We can't promise us Earthlings won't wage war on you. Oh, there it is. You know, it was just mentioned by Daniel that Blood Axe probably should not be used on the undead, and I just made that mistake. We'll keep that in mind in the future. We'll keep that in mind in the future. Any Iraqians or lions here? Medicare, I think I might have skipped the sleep sword, or did I get it? No, I did. Thank you very much. You know what? You can go to Elbon earlier. I know sleep is useful in certain areas, but I think the Ice Sword is better attack power here. Because you can go to that castle at any time, and I think the Sleep Sword is meant to kind of reward you early on for going there early. I decided to not come here until later, and as a result, it's not as strong. Wasn't there like, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, where like there's a Namekian who came to Earth and like has been living here among us. Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, we don't mind you being Russian. Namekian, though, I'm gonna have to think about. Apologies, Ultra Zappy. You always have to be watching out for those alien planets. You never know what they're trying to plan against us. Rydia's summons are always so good. Just complete sweepers of whatever battle you're in. There's a reason their MP cost is so high. It's probably why I always enjoyed summons in this game. Like, always high utility. This is a simple dungeon. Simple dungeon, not much here. Pretty much beginning to end. Let's not have Kane attack these guys. Probably have... Oh no, he can attack the golem. That should be fine. Let's fire this guy. Let's have Rosa heal. Prayer unanswered. Very inconvenient. And we win. Let's head up here before we head downstairs. No, nothing there. It's a few dead ends. But we will grab the items. Vamp Fang basically drains some HP from the enemy. More bats. Yep, pretty uneventful enemy-wise here. How are you all in the chat doing? Doing well? I'm enjoying this game, as I always have. And I'm quite happy. Oh, Rydia, low on MP, so I'll conserve that a bit. But like, one of my goals this year was to basically complete the major RPGs in 1992. 1992 was a big year, by the way. Dragon Quest V, Phantasy Star 4, 91 and 92, Landgrisser 1. Yeah, a ton of games that came out. The first Ogre Tactics. Oh no, is it Ogre Tactics or Ogre Battle? I think it was Ogre Battle. And yeah, my goal has been to like complete them all, and I'm almost there. Like, once I reach there, I'll consider that a comfort area, because I do want to start playing a lot of PS1 RPGs that I've never played before. That was also one of my goals for this year. Yeah, Medicare, I don't think that there would ever be a full-on DQ-FF crossover, but I think it would mainly come from which Final Fantasy would cross over, which Dragon Quest would cross over. The best idea I could think of would be maybe like a crossover fighting game, like how Falcom did for its Trails and E series. That's a game I wish got a localization. Like, there's like a 3D fighting game that like involves characters from both series. Yeah, like my hope, that's if we ever get a Dragon Quest Final Fantasy game, it would probably be something like that. Let's try praying again, just to restore a little HP. Another reason I don't think so is because despite the fact that Square Enix is one company, despite the fact that Square Enix is one company, I do think that there are kind of inner circles within Square Enix. It's a bit of a long topic, and it's one that I will be discussing in a future video. But yeah, and because of like the different cultures within, the possibility is low. Like the mainline numbered Final Fantasies have a very internal culture to them within one of Square Enix's divisions. Geekdom? I've heard of Tobal 2. I don't know exactly what it is. Yeah, Menaker, Final Fantasy Chrono Trigger does incorporate elements from both Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. Though at the same time, Sakaguchi said something interesting about that game. And it's one of the many reasons why I love him. He said that he wanted to make sure that Chrono Trigger did not feel like Final Fantasy. That it had its own feel. And I really appreciate that he went out of his way to do that. Geekdom 101, no, I have not played Tobal 1. That's a platformer for PS1, right? Or am I mistaken? It's an RPG fighting game. Interesting. I'll have to look that up. Okay, and here are the people of Eblon. Hiding out in this cave as Rubicant kind of wiped out their kingdom, which we had walked through. A lot of devastation in this game. Though the first games to do that whole destroyed city thing was Dragon Quest 1. That's one of my favorite parts of the original Dragon Quest. Being able to like walk through that devastated city. There's also one in Dragon Quest 6 that has like a very sad history. That's also a very good one. Keep your chin up, guy. I'm sure your prince will rebuild. And we have some armor here. The black robe is a very good armor for Rydia. I believe I have one ice armor. Just want to check. Yes, Kane is outdated. Yeah, he needs it. And I already have enough ice shields, so I'm good on that front. Yeah, DQ1's influence is felt to this day. I would not mind, like, if they ever did a Dragon Quest 1 remake, but because the game is so short, they included, like, a Dragon Quest 1-2 and Dragon Quest, like, 1-3 in it. Like, show how Erdrick and Princess Gwaelin, how they reached the East and founded all of those kingdoms. That's a story that I'd really like. We'll get a boomerang for Edge. He already has a kunai, I believe. Whoops, let's not do that. No. Ice Brand and Ice Lance. I believe I still have those. No, he has the blood. And I do have the Ice Brand. You know what? You know what? Let's get the Ice Lance for the upcoming boss. Oh yeah, Geekdom 101. We can discuss that later on. Yeah, like I really think that like an expanded Dragon Quest 1 story would be great. True Alfarius, you know, Dragon Quest 2, Yuji Horii had some big ideas for that game, but they had to be cut. Like, there was supposed to be like some really elaborate imagery. Whenever I remake the Dragon Quest 2 video, I'll make sure to include it because we still have one of those images. And also after Dragon Quest Builders 2, that game really like enhanced the Dragon Quest 2 world. And I'd love to see to see a game that really played on that, like with that momentum. Yeah, you could expand too as well. Though I think the SNES and GBA games did try to, in small ways. Well, hopefully we can help these guys out. Their food supply is running low. Monsters everywhere. How did they defeat our ninjutsu so easily? You know, you guys don't look like ninjas, just saying. Well, we'll see. The king and queen were kidnapped? But I'm sure you guys have heard the rumors that Dragon Quest III is being remade for next year. Like, when they were doing the whole listing for future games, and people thought it was fake at first. Oh, this woman's pregnant, which is interesting. No naming way. But, yeah, and it had the Unreal 5 engine listed there, and that's why people thought it was fake. But it turned out the engine was real, and that may legitimize the listing. So we may be getting a Dragon Quest III remake very soon. Yeah, it's a rumor, but there is a bit of legitimacy towards it. On top of that, Yuji Horii has acknowledged the Dragon Quest III remakes for a while. Like he said, yeah, it's something we're thinking about. It's something we want to do. So that may and of course there's what Dragon Quest XI did in its ending. So yeah, it's entirely within the realm of possibility. And we've been back attacked. Yeah, I agree, Geekdom. I've been convinced at this point that just remake the entire trilogy. Though I think what they're gonna do this time, I think that they're gonna do 3, 1, 2 this time. Because we had 11, then they do 3, then they do 1, 2, and so sort of in that way, we now like re-receive the entire series, but in order. That's my theory. And all of those are such easy sells. Like Dragon Quest III remake would sell like hotcakes. That's an easy 5 million seller around the world. Alright, I'm gonna let Rydia use her summon. I am thirsty, guys, and I need to grab a drink. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I am back. And thank you, Rydia, for handling business while I was gone. Alright, and we see here the Eblon soldiers are down. Yeah, but there are quite a few Dragon Quest games that I do want to see. There are so many on the docket right now. Like, the next DQ Monsters. Because, I'm really looking forward to that for multiple reasons. Number one, I've lost faith in Pokemon. I really have. I think Game Freak has... They've done lazy stuff in the past, but I have reached my limits with them. And I played Dragon Quest I Monsters for the first time. And, it was a really refreshing experience. It was really different. It was really hardcore. And I liked its ideas. And I'm looking forward to the next one, which is supposed to have Eric and Mia from Dragon Quest XI, but as children. And yeah, that's a great idea. I was kind of hoping that they would use them for a Mystery Dungeon game, like how they used Tornico and later on Yangus. But, them in a Monsters game is completely fine. I will buy that. We didn't get the last Monsters game. We didn't get the last Monsters game in the West. But I think that with 11's success, they're going to try again, and I really hope they do. I will make I will make videos hyping that game up. Okay. And Digimon. Digimon has been great recently as well. A lower budget, to be sure, but that's fine. As long as you make a good game. Oh shoot, should not have had Kane do that, forgot. My silly mistake. But yeah, Digimon has been fantastic lately. I've enjoyed all of the games that have come out. I'm looking forward to Digimon Survive. Was very sad when I heard it was delayed. Yeah, and I haven't gotten into the remake Digimon anime yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Oh, Geekdom, you've spoken to them about Dragon Quest X? Yeah, sure, I look forward to you telling me about that. Like, I really do want offline Dragon Quest X. If you notice, we are getting, like, a lot more DQ games being made, and I do think that there is a reason for that. And the reason I personally believe is that Yuji Horii is 60 now. If you think about it, that's still young. Especially if he stopped smoking. For those who don't know, that there was a time in Japan where, like, people smoked a lot. Like, 90% of the population smoked. And, like, a lot of them got lung cancer. But he seems to have stopped. He's 60, which is pretty young, still. Like, for these days, people live till, like, they're 80. But it's still, like, in that area where, like, you recognize that you're getting old. And because of that, I think he's like, I need to pump out every idea I can before it's my time. Because, you don't know when your time's up. And so I think he's just pumping out game after game after game, idea after idea. And it also helps that, it also helps that, like, he's had a lot of acolytes over the years. Like, he has disciples. Akira Toriyama has Bird Studio, which has a ton of disciples. And Sugiyama, the composer, he's trained up a lot of people as well. And so now you have a lot of people who very much understand what Dragon Quest is. So you have, like, more and more people who are capable of putting out more and more games. And, like, I really like the rate of output we've been getting. Smash Project, you asked what I think of the Mother Trilogy. I like the NPCs. Those are the best parts of those games. They're very fun to talk to. I like the atmosphere of those games. I think Earthbound, even though I haven't completed it yet, is the one I enjoy the most. Mother 3, I got some issues with. That's a discussion for another time, though. But yeah, great NPCs, great atmosphere. I like Itoi's style of dialogue. Like, it's very unique. Oh, Geekdom, is that really true? But has he trained up people? Because I do know that Toriyama doesn't do the monster designs for Dragon Quest anymore. He only does the character designs, unless I'm mistaken on that as well. I see, that's interesting. Alright, that's I'll have to do more research into that. I do wonder who does the monster designs for DQ these days, though. Unless it is him, and I'm completely mistaken. It's completely possible. Because, I have heard that, he has taken a step back from like, doing every monster. I do wonder if Horii does all the party chat now still, because I know he used to do that as well. Like, every line of party chat was him. True Alfarius, I've heard the joke of the KFC console, but I haven't looked at it myself. Probably will do that tonight. Next generation needs to do a little more to convince me, like I said last time, to make me really pick it up. I never pick up a new console right away anyway, because like that's when all the problems within them show up, and it's like when you get to the second generation, like they've all been like worked out. Like, I didn't buy a Wii U until second generation. The Wii U's didn't have too many problems, thankfully. Yep, I agree, Geekdom. You know what? Maybe there needs to be a campaign for that. I do know that there was a petition for DQ10. Maybe that needs to be revived, because some of the fan movements, they've been working recently. Yeah, that's true, Alfarius. Though Square used to be able to, like, pump out a RPG really quickly. But those were the old days when Sakaguchi was in charge. Cause like, I've always believed the reason Final Fantasy X was as big as it was because it came out within the first year of the PS2. Like, to me, that was always like, they got to the fans first, and every generation is a first RPG for somebody. So for a lot of people, Final Fantasy X was their first turn-based RPG. Oh no, Rydia. By the way, everybody, thank you for joining these streams. Always glad to have you. And Geekdom, it's so strange having you here. I know you have like 100, like you have like a ton of subs. I was like looking at, I didn't know your exact sub count last time. And so like I made sure to like look at it after last stream. I'm like, oh wow. So thank you for joining us. I appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, I hope you continue to enjoy these streams. I'm still undecided on what I'm going to do after this one. I do want to keep doing games that are not too difficult. Never mind that I turned Final Fantasy IV up to 1 speed in active. But because like I really do want to learn how to talk, play, and manage the chat all at the same time. I don't think that I'm quite ready to try to play Sekiro while talking to the chat. Still sounds like a bit of a challenge. Final Fantasy X. I will say that I don't like the game, and I'll keep it at that for now. I have many issues with it, and Kitase's era of Final Fantasy, I generally have some kind of issue with each game. I'll admit that much. Thank you, Geekdom. I really appreciate that comment. Just checking the chat. Okay, let's move on. We are almost at the end of this dungeon. Battles kind of make it a bit longer than it should be. Let's get in here. And we have a save point. Let's use a tent. And let us save. Rose at 32, pretty decent pace. And there is a hidden passageway. Down here, monsters! 2 steel golems, not much of an issue. Let's jump, and let's have Rydia do her thing. And we'll have Rosa aim. Just to state my favorite Final Fantasy, it's probably 9. It's like between story and gameplay, and characters. I think it hits like the best balance. Though I do have like in my mind what I would think like the what I personally would believe is the ideal Final Fantasy. Like the gameplay of 5, the story and little ideas of 9, and like the atmosphere of 6 maybe would maybe make like my my ideal Final Fantasy. Yeah, Charlie Fox, 7 is quite easy. You don't let me do this, and let's do a save for the Retron. The other day, I was playing, what was I playing? I'm still playing, Front Mission Gun Hazard, I believe, and the Retron reset it on me twice in one session. So yeah, I'm always a little paranoid that, despite its usefulness, it will betray me. And here we have Edge and Rubicant. I really like the gentlemanly nature of Rubicant. It makes him very different from like the other purely evil fiends. Alright, Edge, you know, you're not starting off too bad. Edge, you shouldn't do that. He's the Fiend of Fire. I don't think that's a good idea. Your fire is pathetic compared to mine. Yep, and Edge is dead. I like Edge. He adds a bit of attitude to the game. Your team's it's pretty low key at this point, you know, and I think Edge adds a little character to it. And I do like that Rubicon says, "Hey, when you get stronger, you can challenge me again." Well, let's heal this guy. Edge, you do kind of come off as a spoiled prince. I like how Edge is the only ninja in this game that actually looks like a ninja. And Rydia gets this sad moment. It's okay, Rydia. Only 2 of them are actually dead. Yep, there begins the Rydia Edge shipping. Plus, we need a 5th party member, so you should come with us. Edge. Yes, we are. Ninja Edge joined. Okay. We now have a party of 5 once more. And we have our final party for this version of the game. So Edge has 2 kunai, but let's switch one of those out for a boomerang. Boomerangs have their own benefits, and they are useful in the long run. Get that dry ether we saw earlier. And you know what? Let's see some ninjutsu. Let's use flame against monsters it would actually be useful against. Anytime now, Edge. Yeah, all ninja magic strikes everybody, within the enemy party, which is very useful for situations like this. And I do think the casting times are a little lower than, say, Rydia summons, though obviously not as strong. I just quickly want to go into Rosa's magic list. No, not Rydia's. Rosa's. There we go. And I just want to move Haste up. Let's move Mini up as well. Silence is not as useful, because Slow and Haste are our best friends in this game. And here's the Tower of Babel, the upper floors. And we'll see what we were talking about earlier. Edge somehow ninjas us all in. Of course, Edge tries to take over main sprite. We'll switch back to our boy Cecil. It's one Unihorn. Balloons. Yeah, interest, like someone mentioned in an earlier stream. Yeah, bombs do not have a weakness in this game. In some games, they're weak to fire, which is weird, because that's their element. And in some games, they're weak to ice, which, you know, makes sense. They use a lot of fire moves, and they explode. Yeah, that's a good point, Subledger. You know, we're kind of stuck here until we find the exit. I guess Edge just has limited powers, and he explodes. That's not good. And Edge, I kind of need you to get experience here. That was not fun. Okay. Fortunately, I bought a lot of Phoenix Downs before the stream. No, Edge. There we go. We went up there. So we travel this way. Don't think there's too much new in terms of monsters here. Tompoos, we are well past the halfway point. Like, if I'm gonna do the side content, but if I didn't do it, we're actually like really close to the. We're not super close to the end, but we're like generally getting there. Because this is not a long game at all. But I do want to make sure that we see all the content. There are like 3 optional dungeons, technically 2. Ultra Zappy, it actually does work in the game that way, in some games that way. You know, you use fire on them and they explode. Here we have an egg. Oh, you know what? Let's try some shurikens. As you can see, Edge can throw a lot of stuff. All old weapons, and he can throw shurikens. You know what? We don't need that. Well, we could sell it for money. But you know what? You only live once. And it does really good damage. And that Lamia went down pretty easily. Is it 2... Is it 2 dungeons left? Because we have this, and we have the... No, it's 3 dungeons left, I think. If we're counting the final dungeon. No, that's second floor. Which has the... oh, no, yep, let's get that chest. Because we have the... we have the trapdoor dungeon. The trapdoor dungeon. We have the Giant of Babel, and then the final dungeon. Let's ninja. It only lived for 2 seconds. That reminds me of Douglas Adams' books, where there's like a whale that comes to life, but it like lives for like just... It's like falling from the sky, so it questions all of its existence in a philosophical fashion, all the way down until it like hits the ground and violently dies. Ugh. Covered edge, thankfully. Should have jumped with Kane. That would have ended this much faster. And that finishes it off. Giant of Babel is probably my favorite dungeon in this game. It like has that sort of like clock punk aesthetic with like giant gears and everything. Like that was cool. And I love the music of that dungeon. One of my favorite themes in the entire franchise. It just feels cool. It feels climactic. And I do like the boss at the end. Oh, welcome Celeste, and yes, indeed, Spoony Bards were welcome on our team, but are no longer with us. Cats were philosophers. Yep, it's just like the movies. They're always there planning, in their cunning, engaging in ennui, thinking about life all day. These corals, they do have Blaster, which is a one-hit kill. Hopefully, one did try it, but did not do anything. But hopefully we will be able to avoid that in the future. Set around here. Who designed this tower? There's like no floors here. I think that leads to the important area. And there's nothing... Is there anything there? Yes, there is. Welcome, Brandon Morrison. Yep, Final Fantasy IV is great. Well, let's have Kane end this very quickly. No, we've already seen what is inside the egg. Oh, well, yes, these are made of stronger stuff. Anyway, just a Lamia, and Lamias don't have that much HP. Rosa, do not fall for its wiles. Just cast an exit. Whoop, I'm out of here. These guys are too strong for me. Hey, if I were a monster in this universe, I would be of the same mind. I would completely stay out of the hero's way. And I think this is a save point. No, that leads up. No, that's a chest. Okay. I'm the mistaken one. Preemptive strike. Let's have Kane jump just for the extra force. I never thought Medicare that they... Oh, I got blastered. I never thought that they were under construction, since I do believe that these are supposed to be ancient towers. That they were built by like some kind of civilization long ago. Because like these places do have like a connection to the crystals. Because, you know, the crystals can be used to summon the... I do not give you permission to die, Cecil. It's the crystals which can be used to summon the Giant of Babel. And the Giant of Babel is within the Tower of Babel. So I always assumed that they were like that, you know, this is an ancient place. You know, Ultra Zappy, that's one of my desires for the next Dragon Quest. I want it to have monsters. And not monsters in the like Dragon Quest V, Dragon Quest VIII sense. I want like a monster with a personality, a backstory, basically an entire character, and he's from like a monster town. Like, to me, that's like the next logical step for a Dragon Quest game. Charlie Fox, I've never heard that Zemus built these towers. Is that ever said in the DS remake, or is that like just like random lore from like one of the guidebooks. I'll have to look that up. I don't to see if maybe if that's on one of the wikis somewhere. Because like I said, I've never heard that. That's new information to me. That Zemus built the towers. Ah, blasted again. No, no, stop killing my party. I give you no permission to do this. You do not have my permission to die. It was in the DS game. Okay. I'm gonna make an... yeah, I'm gonna replay that very soon by myself. Oh man, it's almost 8. This stream went by quickly. But we have monsters. Oop, and I forgot the heal. Okay. This could be bad. I can't run. Alright, Rydia, I'm really relying on you right now. Ooh, Cecil can only take so much. Let's, throw the kunai. Ooh, this is not good. Summon, Titan. Yeah, let's get Rosa back in the game. Ooh, thankfully Rydia's in the back row. Yeah, Subledger, sort of. But, like, I really want, like, a full-blown, you know, story from Monster. That's something we haven't seen yet. Let's have Rydia try Miss Dragon this time. Oh man, Rydia's tanking it. But she does have one of her best armors at this point, and that is, like, really helping. Oh man, Rydia is really tanking. Let's item, let's Phoenix down, because I need Rosa to get the HP. Experience, I mean. Ooh, almost there. Come on, Kane, get your turn. No, bad. Okay, at least only one is left now. Ooh, these ogres, troublesome. You know what, let's ascend this. Thank you, Kane. Oh yeah, DQ6 had 2 monster characters, but like once you kind of like get past their story, they don't really say much. I don't even think in the party chat they have much to say, but I could be wrong on that. Okay, let's revive everyone. That's a good thing I bought all those Phoenix Downs. Let's have Rosa use a Kiraga. Yes, DQ5 has Saber, but like Saber doesn't like talk. I mean like a monster that like talks and interacts and everything. Like how some like NPC monsters do in Dragon Quest. Not just like a monster who like, yeah, you know, he obeys you, and like, you know him, but like one that like really has a backstory, really has, you know, a personality. Like one that like basically feels like any other human character. And like one that has like a full arsenal of party chats. You know, just like anyone else. Alright, there we go. This floor has been an ordeal, so let's move on. Head on up. And floor 3. Okay, I'm getting like Ogre and Coral PTSD. And now we have like, we now have an encounter with all of them. Well, that new axe that Cecil has is fairly useful. Let's summon. we do have a ton of ethers, so like it's not unreasonable to make good use of MP. Blaster missed, thankfully. Very good. You know, Brandon Morrison, I need to listen to more of OC Remix. Because, like, GDQ, Games Done Quick, for those who don't know what Games Done Quick is, it's like two big speedrunning events every year, and some smaller speedrun events. Like, I'm really annoyed that due to all of the events in the real world, that what's it called, was delayed. That RPG Limit Break was delayed this year, which was like the big RPG speedrunning event. But like at these events, they always play stuff from like the OC. They always play OC remixes in between, in between games. And so I'm like, I gotta look this stuff up more. I gotta look it up more. Like the remixes are so good, and then I always forget to. So I will make sure to look that up in the future, Brandon. Does Bowser count as a full storied monster? Not the way I'm thinking of. For me, I'm thinking of like, okay, stop dying. I'm thinking of like a monster you would see like in the world, but he's got like a complete personality and everything. Yeah, the DQ monsters are immortal. The Final Fantasy one, but get like slight redesigns. There are exceptions, but like, but yeah, like with DQ, like there's a nice consistency with them. While they also like add new ones. Oh my gosh, Kane, Edge, I mean, please. Yeah, there's a nice consistency. While they also like add new ones, like the Sham Hat Witch from like 10 and 11, that was a great new design. I also like the cucumbers, which they introduced in Dragon Quest VIII. Those were really good. Alright, let's heal. Yeah, that one speed, starting to feel its effects again. Alright. A Lilith Kiss, that charms the enemy, I believe. Okay, let's make sure you always kill the sorcerer first. Otherwise, she'll start summoning stuff. And we do not want that. Yeah, let's ninja. What are these guys? I don't think... You know what? Bio works well on these guys. That's what I should have remembered. Yeah, Alfarius, that's actually something that happens more as a result of the localizations than the original. A lot of the puns are actually the localization team having a lot of fun with the games. There are puns in the original Japanese, but like the localization team really likes to add more. Okay. Heal a little. Oof. How's the weather where you guys are at? I feel like I was not prepared for spring to be so warm. Because, when I do these streams, I have to do them with the fan off. For, like, obvious reasons. Because, like, it would interfere with the microphone. And so it's like, oh man, this heat really has been taking a bit of toll. I make sure to, like, cool down my room with the AC. All before I play. But, as time goes on more and more, the heat begins to catch up with my room. You know, there's one YouTuber, because Brandon mentioned the OC remixes and Dragon Quest. There's one YouTuber who does a lot of, I think it's techno remixes of the Dragon Quest games. He does other stuff too, but the techno remixes are the most notable. Did I miss items over there, or am I going the right way? Hopefully not. You know, I should have left the Ogre to Cecil alone, since he does have the Ogre Killer. Seth Kane jump. And Rydia will do her thing. Oh, well, there's Kane. Oh, well, Blaster only paralyzed Kane. That's fine. You know what? I can't remember what game it was. But, you know how in most games you receive an instant death spell? And like, you never use it, because the accuracy is always low, and you feel like, this is a pointless spell. I'm never gonna use it. I can't remember what game. We have a Lamia... so we got a Lamia Harp. And the interesting thing is that with Lamia Harps is that we don't have a bard to use it anymore. So we'll just leave that alone. Hello Daniel, welcome. Glad to have you here. Yeah, my item menu apparently is filled. And I lost my last train of thought, unfortunately. Yeah, we don't need a magazine. And, no, you can go in the garbage. And take 2 potions. And let's do that. Don't really need emergency exits. We have exit for that. Subledger, it's a random drop. And that's why I got a harp. Yeah, not really much else I want to throw. Wait, how did Sort get up there? Okay, that's interesting. Sort, please. Okay, 4 spots. That should be fine. Let's head down. And we receive an Ashura. We'll give that to Edge to make him a little stronger. You know what? We'll switch out his Mithril Glove for a Rune Ring. That helps with a few resistances, and I would prefer that. Alright, nope, the other way. And we are ambushed, which is not fun, considering the enemies here. Like, I always feel compelled to run whenever I'm ambushed. Death Spell. That's what I was saying. There was a game I played recently. Charlie, first off, to answer that question, Charlie Fox, what benefits does the boomerang have? It's a ranged weapon, and I think that that gives it a few benefits. You could even put Edge in the back row, and he'd function well with it. But I think it has some others that I'm not recalling off the top of my head. I'll remember to look that up after this stream for the next one. But Death Spell. It might have been Breath of Fire too. That if you use an instant death spell, if it doesn't trigger the instant death, it will still do damage. More games should do that. That's what I was getting at. The Coral using Blaster, it will either do instant death or paralyze. Yeah, I think that's a cool idea. And I think more games should really think about their elements and stuff like that. It makes them much more useful. Typical enemies here. Yeah, okay, let's heal Edge, because he seems to always be on the verge of dying. Might actually put him in the back row. He does have the capabilities for it. And Rydia gets exploded. It's okay, you know, if we've learned anything from Sid, you know, it's that doesn't matter. You can take an explosion to the face and be okay. Yeah, Daniel, but I don't know if you were here when I've explained this already, but this is the Naming Way edition. And this restores everything from the original Super Famicom version and cleans up the translation. So it's a good play. It's the closest we have to the original Super Famicom Final Fantasy IV. Again, I highly recommend it to everybody. It's one of the it's definitely one of the best ways to play the game. Ultra Zappy, very nice Dragon Quest IV reference. Not like someone's gonna let in a bard by accident, and you know, it's not like that guy's gonna end the entire village because of one girl. Oh, Rosa survived, very thankful. And we have one. And, yeah, Edge has learned Blind. I don't think there are too many enemies that can be blinded, or too many enemies that are useful to blind. Like Edge's stuff is his best stuff is his AoE stuff, and he learns Smoke, which is basically an instant runaway, which will be very helpful during the final stretch of the game. Because, you know, during the last 4 floors of the final dungeon, you know, you kind of run into a lot of behemoths who counterattack every physical attack, and, you know, it's just better to use a smoke bomb and run. It's much better than having to go on these, like, 5-minute fights every time. Ooh, Rosa is 34. We are on track. I'm very happy about that. Let's save. Oh, that's interesting info, Charlie. I do wonder if that was fixed for this, for the Naming Way edition. That I will have to look up. Alfarius, there are encounters with 2 behemoths in this game as well. I believe they're even like a random encounter at one point. Darn it, Rosa, stop falling for the enemy's wiles. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Wiseman. That this fixed it, and so like it adds the proper damage it's supposed to do. I think the Game Boy Advance might as well. Anytime now, guys. Anytime now. There we go, finally. That's Ninja. Yeah, Rosa always like is betraying us. Like, what are you trying to do? That's Kane things, Rosa, not yours. It's not like Kane's gonna betray us again. And let's summon just to make things easier. Summons take up a lot of MP, but over time, you know, Rydia gets so much that, you know, eventually gets so much that it doesn't matter. Unless you're like trying to summon Bahamut in every fight. Oh, Brandon, I have not played Brave New World yet. I am thinking about it at some point. And I do, like, if I could ever find the time, and by find the time I mean after I beat every Super Nintendo RPG I want to play, which I'm not too far off from. I think I might have like 10 more of them left. But, you know, if I ever get there, I do want to play the randomizers. The randomizer for FF4 looks really fun. And like at Games Done Quick, they've done speedruns for Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. And yeah, like I always like watch those and I'm like, man, this looks really fun. Like you could run into like an endgame boss early on, but its stats are balanced for however early you find it, and that's such a cool idea. You know, Subledger, with 7th Saga, when they localize that game, the American version is actually harder than the Japanese version, and like I'm considering just using that as an excuse to play a game with a patch that restores it to the Japanese stats. It's like a reverse FF4. Like, the patch makes it easier, rather than making it harder. Menaker, I've known some people who have beaten 7th Saga. By no means a small feat. Alright. I've always really loved the sound effect for Bio. I think it's just really cool sounding. Like Square Sound Effects Department, you know, they used to be the best. Item, quick heal. And I do think that we are about to reach a boss fight. And here, you know, that's such a weird number. You know, why isn't it just 80,000 gil? Like, who in the office said, you know what, 82,000, that's the number. Right. And here we are. I'm sure this will not be depressing at all. So here's Edge's mother and father. What a great reunion. To hell! And we begin a boss fight. I will bring you all down to hell. You know what? As a kid, these designs, I wouldn't say they scared me, but they definitely were like, wow, these are like really terrifying designs. Whatever these people went through, whatever experimentation, it must have been like the worst thing ever. Because like these designs are really effective at communicating, like what it is they like wanted you to know. Just gonna parry, cause like this battle is it's turn focused rather than amount of hits or damage dealing, so it really doesn't matter what I do here. Hold on, just checking something. Kuki Nail, welcome. I believe in Japanese what you're saying means what? Not sure what the context is. But, welcome. Yeah, these are some of Amano's better designs. I'm not always a fan of his work, but I do think that he did a great job here. I think it's definitely the most tragic part of the game. It's very unexpected. They're permanently dead. They don't come back to life like everyone else in the game. And like, you know, and it's legit sad, and it's a great moment for Edge. And we have Rubicant. Again, his very likable, gentlemanly personality. That's okay, Niall. It allowed for something different. And we hear that Luge did this, though we've already defeated Luge. He says Edge will never know true strength, but we'll see about that. Give me one moment, guys. Gotta check something. One moment. Okay. Edge learned Flood and Blitz, which is great because Edge can stop using fire attacks on Rubicant. But even the coldest frost can't penetrate my Cloak of Flames. Alright, he healed us. No, I think when you speak to him one more time, he will heal you. Is that a save up there? I actually don't remember, like, if there's a save to the right? Let me just check. Hold up there, Rubicant. We'll have our extremely climactic battle after this very anticlimactic... Oh, no, I came from there, I guess. Alright, Rubicant, I'm back. Thanks for waiting. I really appreciate it. Let's run from this egg. No, that's right. There was an item there. Okay. Completely forgot. Yep. Slight lapse. Okay. Thank you for healing me, Rubicant. And here we go. So as long as this cloak is open, he can be hit by fire attacks. Scorch is his big damage dealer. Oh, and he closed this thing. Yeah, that's the one speed. It's definitely going to make this a little bit different, as he's going to be opening and closing his cloak. Much faster. Oh, I hit Blitz instead of Flood. That's my mistake. Alright, maybe I can time this for when he opens his cloak. Let's see. Okay, well, hopefully that'll work out. Let's go to white, and we're gonna slow Rubicant down just a little bit. Just yeah, he takes major damage when his thing is open. I'm gonna let Cecil be more support here. Everyone else can do quite a bit more than he can. Ooh, Kane took major damage there. Let's have Kane jump. Let's time it again. Lazara. Oh, I like how Rubicant can hit two people at once. That's pretty fascinating. Let's slow one more time. Ooh, no, that was mistimed. Thankfully, he doesn't absorb too much. I think Steel forces him to open his cloak, but I might be misremembering that. Well, he opened his cloak anyway. Well, we got a potion. That's very nice. Alright, thank you, Kane. And we're going to slow him one more time for good effect. Yeah, he's pretty slow now, so his quick opening and closing cape is pretty much done with. Oops, Scorch on Rosa, and that is not good. Let's bring Rosa back. Let's go to Edge. Let's see if this works. Huh. Okay, yeah, there it does work. He stealed and then he opened his cloak. Okay. I thought I was remembering that correctly. Let's jump. This might be the final hit. Rydia's been dealing major damage. That might be bad for Rydia. That's very bad for Rydia. We definitely need some healing this turn. Don't want to put myself in a situation where things get really bad. So have Rydia heal herself. Not bad. You know what? Let's use haste on Edge. This is his fight. Okay, we're pretty much in the realm of survivability at this point. Jump, Cane, jump. And we are going to Ninja with Flood. After all, it was made for this fight. Hoping Cecil doesn't die here, and he dies. Watch this be the kill, and you know Cecil doesn't get any experience. Oh no! That's Kiraga. And you know what? Let's count on the summoning time. Hopefully that'll be time that, you know, the summoning time is so long that it'll occur when he opens his cape. Oh, okay, well, that just might work out. Yep, and it did. Perfect. There, am I a decent strategist or what? Wow, this guy has a lot of HP. Like, I'm hitting him for like thousands of hit points every turn. Let's cure. Not bad. Yeah, his Scorch is really like the one thing he can do that's really bad. Alright, don't close your cape. I'd appreciate it if you kept it open, Rubicant. Rubicant, like all the others in this game, is named after a character from Dante's Inferno. That'll hopefully finish it? No. Jeez. Yeah, let's, No, there we go. Yeah, that's a good decision to heal. Summon Shiva once more, and I think this will be it. No! Oh, that was too early. Oh, Wiseman, you are thinking of a river in Rome. That was the Rubicon, as in crossing the Rubicon. Famous from Julius Caesar, I believe. Hopefully, Rydia will finish this. Rydia definitely the MVP of this fight, so is Rosa for slowing this guy down. Let's get a haste on Rydia, just in case it isn't over. And that's it. Wow, I did not remember him having this much HP. But this is a good fight. I always enjoy it. Just checking the chat for what was said up until now. Are you a Rubicon or Rubicant? It's like Kirby, a huge weakness under the cloak. By joining many forces, many are more powerful than one. Oh, that kind of foreshadows what happens later. And he is done. And Edge laments the fall of his mother and father. And the rest of the ninjas who don't look like ninjas show up. We kind of did it, guy. You know, boss is dead. Not to mention our party can only fit 5 people. Daniel, no, I've never speedrun an RPG. I've speedrun very few things. I speedrun Ground Zeroes. You can actually find that on my channel still. Back from my early days. Yeah, I speedran that game. But, no, I've never speedran an RPG. I have considered learning the speedrun for Scarlet Grace, Saga Scarlet Grace. Because depending on the character you choose, it's like only an hour and a half to a 2-hour speedrun. And the strats in that game are really fun. They like rely on getting the insta-kills with insta-kill weapons, learning... It's really unique. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a speedrun like it. Alright, Edge decides he's going to be a permanent member of our team. I guess may Shadow hide you is their saying. Edge is completely uninformed of the situation. It's like, yeah, let's go get the crystals. Yeah, let's do that thing. Sounds pretty good to me. Alright. And we find the crystal room. And it's a trapdoor! And we land in an area that we could see the first time we came here. But, could not access. So we'll grab that potion. And we'll head back up, and hopefully we'll avoid the conveniently placed trapdoor. Yeah, long speedruns are crazy. they are insane. Like, Final Fantasy IX is a 9-hour speedrun. Final Fantasy X is like 9 hours as well. But here's the thing with that speedrun. My issue with that one is that no version of Final Fantasy X has skippable cutscenes. And again, I got my issues with Yoshinori Kitase, who is like the director and producer of many of the Final Fantasy games of that era. I think the reason we've never gotten a no cutscene skip is because of him. And it's really annoying, because I want the speedrunners to have a faster run. Rosa, again, getting charmed. But I want the speedrunners of 10 to have a faster run. And that would go from being a 10-hour run to like a 6-hour run. If all the cutscenes were skippable. Oh my gosh, Rosa's healing the enemies. Oh man, my entire team's gonna be charmed soon. Okay, we now have a Berserk egg. Okay. This is a really interesting scenario. I don't think I've ever had a time when I've had this many people charmed all at once. Oh my gosh, that egg is going to be like the hardest hit egg ever. And Cecil like casts exit. Well, I guess we're gone from this fight now. Daniel, if you do a FF1 speedrun, consider doing it with the PS1 version. It's a much, much better game. Use some eye drops, because Edge is blind. Ooh, we got back attacked. And by corals, I'm going to run. Yeah, Charlie Fox, getting the best weapons in 9, especially Excalibur, can be quite the pain. Yeah, and Egg got berserked. Don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Oh man, this entire episode has just surrounded the Tower of Babel. Alright, much more manageable fight. So King jump the Sorcerer so that nobody is summoned. Yeah, Ultra Zappy, you know, people looking like they're wearing normal clothes to battle. Yeah, that's a constant of RPGs. Though I think with, like, advancements from Xenoblade Chronicles X and other games like Dragon Quest X, like, allowing you to choose whatever armor look you have, despite what you're wearing, has changed that a bit. And I do think that's going to be a constant going forward. That way, like, you know, you could make it look like you're always wearing armor. Yeah, Daniel, the PS1 version of Final Fantasy 1, it's basically, you know, the NES version, but faster. Much faster. And everything goes by quicker. And not all of the glitches, but some of them have been fixed, I believe. So it just makes for a much better play, unlike the GBA and PSP, which basically are the easy mode from the PS1, and they leave out the normal mode, which has always annoyed me. Right, almost to the end. There's a door there. I think that's progress. And this is a chest, okay. High potion. Geekdom 101, if you ever want a challenge, I really suggest the PS1 version. Don't know what you're into. But yeah, but the PS1 version, like, to me is like, that is the closest we've had to like a fully optimized version of the original. And I really don't like the idea of Square removing difficulty. Like, I'm fine with adding options. You know, that's fine. Like how with like the DS version of FF4, they added a normal mode for people who couldn't handle like the DS difficulty. For the Steam version, that's completely fine. You know, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with, like, whole modes being removed. It just seems... It's just a bad decision. It's essentially removed content. The PS1 version utilizes the quick save. Interesting. I'll have to look that up. Okay, lots of encounters on this floor. Yeah, Geekdom, you know, I own, like, Final Fantasy 1 on, like, so many platforms as well. So close to the door, and one more encounter. Alright. Come on, guys. Ah, so there's a version of NES 1 that fixes the bugs. That's interesting. I really need to, like, maybe one day I'll do, like, a video that, like, covers every, like, great patch for every great game. Because I do believe in, like, the idea of how, you know, how people choose to play a game does matter. Like, there are certain patches that make games so much better than what they were. Oh, thank you, Cookie Nael. I'm almost done today anyway. like after we finish the Tower of Babel, and we can save, we'll pretty much be done here today. Think I'm almost there. Just gotta head through this door. Just want to heal. Ooh, no, we need a little more than that. Rosa's almost dead. Alright, we find an airship. Yet another airship. But we just got a new airship. We just had one with like a hook on it and everything. Now we're stealing it. Now we have yet another one. Oh, and Edge names it the Falcon. And of course he asks for Rydia's approval. It's fine. Love how Edge takes the lead. Yeah, I'll look into that, Wiseman, for FF6's patches. It has a lot of them, because there's a lot that's kind of wrong with that game. And like there are a lot of really interesting bugs in FF6. We receive a new airship, one that's like much bigger on the front. All right, let's get back to the kingdom. Then we will land. I will save. Yeah, Cronus, that's how I handle the history of RPGs. The series I do on my channel. Like, I play the original for the original experience, how it came out. We've been streaming for exactly 3 hours, I believe exactly 3 hours now. No, a little more than that. But, we've gotten a lot done. The entire Tower of Babel saga is now over. Next, we have, we basically have these side dungeons. And then after the side dungeons, we basically only have, yeah, like 3 dungeons left, and we're done with the game. So, thank you for watching today. Yes, Daniel, like, I was about to say that, I will be getting everything. I will be doing 100% for this game, which isn't too much to do. But thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you subscribe to the channel if you have not. Like this video if you haven't, as that helps with the algorithm as always. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. I always post there before I stream. If you would like to support this channel for even as low as $1 a month, you may do so on my Patreon. Yeah, I think that's just about it. Thank you for watching, everyone, and God bless you all.